That there is called the Groothuis Museum.
They all have funny names, don't they?
Yes, Flemish. In here it says, the Belgians twice sheltered fugitive English kings from being murdered, 1471 and 1651.
I used to hate history, didn't you? It's all just a load of stuff that's already happened. What are they doing over there? They're filming something. They're filming midgets.
Ray?
It starts off as a comedy, seeming as a comedy, and then it gets a little bit more layered, a little bit deeper than that.
Well, we shall strike a balance between culture and fun. It's a film of consequences, you know. It's the kind of film you're glad to ask people to come to because they're going to have a lot of laughs, but it's just one of those ones that confounds your expectations. It's very pretty.
I'm not being funny. We can't stay here.
We've got to stay here until he rings.
Well, what if he doesn't ring for 2 weeks?
Then we stay here for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks? In fucking Bruges? In a room like this? With you? No way.
I went to Bruges just on a day trip by train from London for a couple of days about 4 years ago. I was just struck by how cinematic the place was. Strange medieval Gothic architecture and beautiful canals. By the middle of the second day, I was bored out of my head because there's not an awful lot to do apart from go to the churches and the museums. So I just wanted to get drunk or get laid or anything. And that kind of became two characters in my head, the culture lover and the drunken whore. And that became the Colin Farrell and the Brendan Gleeson character. It just took us the first day to realise that actually it's the two opposite sides of Martin's brain, really. You know, one says this is a beautiful place and the other saying, I'm bored out of my head, I have to get out of here.
Ray, you're about the worst tourist in the whole world.
Ken, I grew up in Dublin. I love Dublin. If I'd grown up on a farm and was retarded, Bruges might impress me, but I didn't, so it doesn't.
I loved it.
It's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful city. I found it a little bit more boring than he did, I think, but that was what I was bringing to it as well.
I, on the other hand, had people coming over from Dublin that I actually brought on a boat tour. That's how sad I was.
Do you think this is good?
I think what's good?
You know, going around a boat, looking at stuff.
Yes, I do. It's called sightseeing.
Then I thought, why would two people be in a town like that when they didn't have to be? And that's when the idea of them being hitmen, escaping a horrific job in London came up.
You don't even know we're not here on a job.
What, on a job?
Yeah.
Here in Bruges?
Yeah.
Here in Bruges? On a job?
Yeah.
These guys, particularly Brendan's character Ken, he has been, you know, doing what he's doing, being a hitman for about 10 years and has 6 or 7 notches on his belt. And my guy makes a hames of it first time out. First job I'm pulled into goes horribly wrong, which is why we're asked to leave London. But Martin's somebody that never lets you get away from the humanity of the characters as well. You know, he stays away from judging them. He stays away from just vilifying both these men and shows that there is a human cost, an emotional cost even personally, for both of them doing what they do.
You know, at the same time as trying to lead a good life, I have to reconcile myself with the fact that, yes, I have killed people.
We had 3 weeks rehearsal, which was just a gem of an experience, you know. We had 3 weeks to get under that. I thought we'd last about a week into the rehearsal and then we'd be bored out of our brains. But the script was so good, it kept revealing itself to us.
What's that all about then? Well, it's, you know, final day on earth. When mankind will be judged for all the crimes they've committed and that.
Oh. And see who gets into heaven and who gets into hell and all that.
Yeah.
What's the other place?
Purgatory.
Purgatory. Purgatory's kind of like the in-betweeny one. You weren't really shit, but you weren't all that great either. Like Tottenham.
Thankfully, you're working with a couple of people, you know, 3 including Rafe, who really care about a script when they like it, when it's written well. They were completely behind it, and they didn't want to change anything. They just wanted to get in under the skin of the characters, which is more or less what we did for those 3 weeks. It wasn't about, you know, thinking of better lines, or we didn't even go down that route. It was more about, why are these characters here? How did they get to that place in their lives? Where are they going to go to afterwards if they survive?
Harry, I've got an idea.
What?
My room faces onto the canal, right? I'm going to go back to my room, jump into the canal, and see if I can swim to the other side and escape.
Right.
If you go outside and round the corner, you can shoot at me from there and try and get me. That way we leave this lady and her baby out of the whole entire thing.
You completely promised to jump in the canal. I don't want to run out there, come back in 10 minutes and find you fucking hiding in a cupboard.
I completely promise, Harry.
OK, on the count of 1, 2, 3, go, OK?
You guys are crazy.
Hey, ready?
Ready?
Set?
Set.
1, 2, 3, go!
I was quite trepidatious about going to work on it because there's his use of language. There's something kind of hyper real about it. You know, I wouldn't know how the hell would I say any of these words and kind of make them seem natural and not be aware of how hilarious they are and endearing they are as well. Because obviously the characters have no idea when they're being funny. I mean, the laughs come objectively.
Your girlfriend's very pretty.
She ain't my girlfriend. She's a prostitute I just picked up.
Didn't know there were any prostitutes in Bruges.
Just have to look in the right places. Brothels are good.
It's really hilarious when you read it, and you laugh out loud when you read it. So to get a script like that, it's just an absolute gift. But the deeper you go into it, it's never funny playing it. It's really not. And actually, when we were doing it, you know, particularly for Colin and at certain times for me, the actual pain you had to put yourself through to read these lines, no matter how hilarious they were, was quite significant.
2 manky hookers and a racist dwarf. I think I'm heading home.
Yeah, I think I'll come with you.
Hey, what?
Back off, Shorty.
You don't know karate. Ah!
Don't say you didn't have a cover. Short arse!
I'd always loved films as a kid, growing up, everything from, you know, Scorsese, De Niro films to Terrence Malick and Kurosawa and Peckinpah.
He's a keen student of film as well. You know, he really is. He's an incredibly erudite man and got a keen eye, and he had a definite picture of how he wanted it to look, how he wanted the camera to move, or how still he wanted it to be in certain scenes.
The cinema of it was the big thing for me to learn this. I kind of storyboarded for about 2 months before we started shooting.
These little matchstick men, ridiculous looking little things, but it did, you know, it did give him an idea where he wants to go.
It's for the goddamn movie, man.
Everything that wasn't on the page, they brought to it, and never once, you know, were bossy or forceful at, you know, working with a first-time director. Just the opposite. In fact, they kind of helped me along every step of the way.
We're taking you back to Bruges.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.